So when we were running away from Congo, my mom had joined a particular group of people. Like, you have to join groups for you to be safe, to be secure. Since my mom was just a woman with kids, right? And when you run away from home, you have to stay clear of roads. Like, you just have to stay away from roads. You have to stay in the bush unless otherwise. You get my point. So UN had helicopters and planes which were dropping parachutes in the forest. And these parachutes had medical supplies, foods, clothing, money, and guns. The first group that we were with, the strongest, they was now fighting for the money, the guns, and the food. So since my mother was just a woman, she had to like stand back and watch. And people were literally now killing each other over the supplies. So I'll never forget the sound of the big helicopter. The big helicopter when it's in between, not a helicopter, it's a plane, eh? When it's just there, it goes like, woo, woo. I'll never forget because we're now running away. So people were now avoiding these UN parachutes. If you hear it that way, you go that way. Because everywhere you go, you find the UN parachute, dead people. UN parachute, dead people. I remember when the UN officials came to get us from Kazungura in Kasani, they brought a UN car. I remember seeing that UN in blue. I was like, Tunaisha. You know, as a kid, you don't say much. You just think, and all you can do is cry. So I'm not crying. My mom is not comfortable. Like, nobody's going to say anything. We're just like there. And these people are talking to us, and I see a white guy. I remember this guy was called Santino. I don't know where he was from. His name was Santino. And at this point in time, I had very small comforts around white people after what I've seen them do, you know? And it's UN, it's white people. I was just crying. You know, I didn't know where we were going, what is going to happen to us. So a few years later, I'm like 10, I was 11, 12, right? I go for a mental assessment. Every refugee goes through a mental assessment. I meet up with this white, nice lady. She's very calm. She calls me in her office. You do it individually. No mother, no brother, nobody, just yourself. And this lady starts giving me sweets. And she also gives me drink. I say, madam, anything you want, I'll tell you. With this car, I will tell you everything. What do you want to know? In the process of me telling her everything, I get to the part where I tell her about the helicopters and the UN parachute. She goes like, UN don't do that. UN don't do that. I'm a kid. She starts lecturing me about what UN does. Me, I'm a kid. Me, I'm busy eating. And you could tell that she can tell that I don't care. Now I know what I know. What you know is what you know. And then she recommends me for psychiatric help. She said I was traumatized. After my mom was told that I'm not mentally stable, as soon as we got home, my mom goes like, stop telling these people things. Just stop telling these UNHCR employees things. Just stop. Because what you went through, Zawadi. There's nothing we can do to change it. You just have to learn how to live with these things. Well, she was like, you have to be strong. You have to be strong. You know, and indeed, when we stopped telling them, they stopped pushing for psychiatric help and medication and injections. And I realized so many refugees stopped telling UNHCR employees everything because they were afraid of being called mentally unstable. They were afraid of being called liars, you know. So many people who have survived war, there are some things that they don't tell the world because they broke them. Some of them, it's going to take them a very, very long time to talk about it because it's not easy, you know. We try. Growing up in Duku refugee camp was the worst. It was like, there was never in between. In Duku refugee camp, it's either you are committing suicide or mentally ill, or you are playing strong. Growing up in Duku refugee camp, you are always on survival mode. You never know what's going to happen to you whenever. You could be sleeping and somebody gets in your tent and rapes you. You could be walking from school and you're getting attacked or something. It was never safe, you know. At this point in time, I don't like making myself like, oh my God, I've been the best in my life. No, I've never known a good life. Like, since I was a kid till today, I've never known a good life. All I've known is struggles. And I'm tired, you know? I'm tired. I'm tired of struggling.
Yeah, that last part, man, when she's saying she's tired of struggling. You know, I played this video because there is so much that she said on this video. Obviously, that's her story. That's her experience. We are here to learn. We are here to get more information and get more answers to a lot of questions that we are asking ourselves. And what she just touched there, many people can look at it how they want to look at it. As she mentioned that, the reason why many people don't even share these stories is because of, they know that people will say they're lying. People will start judging them. You can look at it how you want to look at it. But what I picked when I was listening to her is she is mentioning something that many people has been asking, and they were not actually getting the answer for that question, whereby many people were saying, we understand UN is in Congo, but we don't know what they're actually doing in Congo. And we got the media answer, which goes like, we are there to keep peace. UN is there for peacekeeping. But the question is, which peace? Because if UN is there to keep peace, or for peacekeeping mission, but there is chaos erupting on their watch, you're like, what are they actually doing? Now she's giving us another angle, that when she is been taken to a lady who has to sit down with her and ask her questions, she revealed these other things which she saw happening, and the lady said, no, UN doesn't do that. And you start asking yourself a question, what if there is the other group which actually supply and make sure that the chaos remain that way, while UN is also keeping peace, as they were saying? And what if there is an invincible hand which is actually wanting the situation to be how the situation is? Because honestly speaking, if they wanted to stop M23, they could have stopped M23. Obviously, if they keep on suspecting that Rwanda, is begging M23, they could have shut it down if they wanted. The problem is why other countries are not reacting the way you think. If something as an emergency, if something as and people are dying every day. Now, according to the Western media, right? Now, when we make these type of videos wanting to understand the situation and wanting to understand why is it that complicated to stop war? Why is it that complicated for even SADC to make a move? Why is it that complicated for the neighboring countries also to get involved? Why is it that complicated? I mean, I was just listening to this interview of Carte Blanche, and there was interviewing this other white, dude who has more information about South African military, and he revealed that we have been in Congo for decades, since the 90s, and we keep on rotating soldiers. And what he just said reminds me of the videos that I saw of this other gentleman in Limpopo who was happy to be home, and his family were actually saying, look at him, he just came back from Congo. And I realized that we have been rotating soldiers ever since. And yes, we know that we are there for peacekeeping. And obviously in that interview, they also spoke about how our South African soldiers were deployed also there. It really looked like they were not there for peacekeeping. They were there to defend on the other side. I'm a South African. Obviously, I'm trying to look at things from a different angle. And obviously, we are also looking at M23. As you hear many people, man, when you look at the M23 situation and you look at Hamas, you understand that both groups are actually fighting for their land. But when you listen to the media, from Israel's point of view, it looks like Hamas, they were just there. I mean, when you look at Hamas situation and you look at the M23 situation, and as South Africans, we were standing with Hamas, because we even took Israelis to court. And when you listen to Thabo Mbeki talking about that situation, and you listen to Nelson Mandela talking about that situation, taking it back to the times of genocide, you don't look at that situation with your emotions. You just look at the situation trying to understand. You also look at South Africans when these guys went to do time because they were fighting so hard for their land in SA, fighting up against the apartheid regime. And you go back again and you listen to Tokyo Sehwale when he was talking about what the Netherlands and the UK fighting over this land when they started dividing this South Africa into four. You remember, the way they divided them into four, and they started sharing simply because of they realized that they should divide it amongst themselves. You look at how those other countries also divided those countries in Congo and others, and Rwanda. It's the same thing, same strategy. You look at how Tokyo Sehwale was. I know this type of videos, when you're making them and you're trying to put pieces together, those who already made up their mind, those who already chose sides, will always be angry with this type of content. When he said black people were fighting to be included when the Dutch, the Netherlands and the English, they were working together and having the trust and these other things. Oh, this is deep, man. But we will get there one day. This is her part 2, by the way. And I thought the part 2 is the informative one, but there is the other part whereby she shared a lot of knowledge, or she shared a lot of information, and I think I should go for that part because of this one. I played it because of it kind of answer questions that many people were saying. Why do we have so many countries, so many groups, UN in Congo? All they're saying they're there for peacekeeping, but there is no peace. It looks like many countries are there to protect the assets. It looks like people are benefiting from Congo. It looks like, the Congo government, obviously, they're willing to strike deals with other countries. It's just deep. The M23 always wanted to speak with the leadership of Congo, but they refuse. But the leadership of Congo can make deals with other leaderships of other countries. I really don't get it. simply because of maybe the fear that if M23 sit down with, because it's just there, sit down with the leadership of Congo and they negotiate and they cut a deal, the deal will obviously be that M23 keep the territory that they already won. And the main reason why it cannot happen is because of Congo wants the territory that M23 has. So that's why the deal cannot be done. So that's why now Congo has to go and get more enforcement to come and get rid of. I've seen the other video of the other lady who was telling the other lady that you are not Congolese and you are so obsessed and you want to be a Congolese so bad. You are stealing our culture, you are stealing our music, you took everything. In the history books, you guys are not there. You guys belongs to, Ethiopia. When we look at your origins, you guys, you're from Egypt. That's what the lady was saying. I should get the video and I should just play the video and also, put my 2 cents on it, simply because of now, there were two ladies. The other lady saying, we are originally Congolese, and the other lady said, there is no such thing. Let me keep digging, man, and see maybe if we can have more dialogue. And the aim of putting these videos is not for us to take sides. It's for us to educate ourselves. It's for us to see things from a different point of view. We've been listening to Western media for a very long time. We've been listening to what they've been telling us. We've been listening to a lot of propagandas. It's about time we start sharing. And I've seen that many black conscious content creators, they've been flagged a lot, from YouTube for many years and also from TikTok. But I still love YouTube, because YouTube is one of those, platforms whereby they will always give you, that space whereby you can express yourself, as long as you are not creating content which is harmful to other people. We are here to learn. We are here to learn, and let's hear from the black voice, guys. Let's hear from the black voice, and let's see if we can learn a thing or two. And we are not actually creating content and gathering all this information and videos from other black content creators because of we just wanna, tear each other apart or start grilling each other. Let's take a thing or two from each other so that we can learn and we can build something greater, because we just have to start there. And I appreciate you guys showing me love and support. Because when somebody was singing that song Tabamo Africa, it makes sense. I'm an African. I'm an African, and that's why I will always want to be involved into African spirituality and things which are happening in Africa. And I appreciate you guys showing me love and support. Thank you.